I don't think there's a person in this room that wouldn't agree with your tenets of free markets and limited government and some of the other things you said. And by the way, I was part of I was in the tent when the tent came down. 100% great idea. Glad to have your support and so on and so forth.
Thank you.
And yes, there's a but coming. But the reality of it is, and I can understand, build business and growth. Okay, but what happens while you're trying to build business is that, yes, MEDC and other entities, we continue to grow government. And you know, that's good for business, because more business, more government. So theoretically, yes, more jobs, less need for social dependency and so on and so forth. But what happens is that the monies that go into the growth, more regulations, more size of government, more programs such as MEDC for the business class, and programs at the low end for you know, social and welfare and so on and so forth, but nothing in the middle. All right, and you talked about MEDC and Pure Michigan supporting this. What about the support across the board for all the mom and pop shops and the truly small businesses and entrepreneurs that are being squeezed out of business, and we the taxpayers are continuing to pay for it?
Good question. It's about the size and cost of government, the role of business. We share your concern about the size and cost of government at both the state and the federal level. That's why one of our top legislative priorities at the Michigan Chamber is to work with the U.S. Chamber to educate and inform employees and employers about the need for federal entitlement reform. Part of the reason we have bad roads is the Federal Highway Trust Fund is broke. And we're going to leave our children and our grandchildren with a terrible debt if we don't deal with entitlement reform. At the state level, we are a conservative organization. We are concerned about the growth of government. That's why we fought for personal property tax relief to make our state more competitive. When Governor Snyder changed from Governor Granholm's Michigan business tax to a corporate income tax, the vast majority of tax relief in that proposal went to small businesses that were double taxed. They were paying tax on business income under the personal income tax and the MBT. And so now we have a corporate income tax that is more simple, more fair, and more like other states. We are an advocate, and we need your help. Part of our message next year to a Republican speaker, a Republican governor, and a Republican Senate Majority Leader is that it's time to park the omnibus. In the budget process every year, while they start with the departmental budgets, they roll them up into 2 or 3 omnibus budgets, where if you've got a concern about the MEDC, you have to vote against the entire general government budget, which puts you in a position of trying to shut down the state police and the attorney general and others. But again, we will identify those projects and programs with you that are working and support them. We championed, and it was an unpleasant experience for many, eliminating the Hollywood film subsidy. That wasteful and ineffective program cost $50 million a year. $50 million a year happens to be exactly the amount of revenue that would be raised with a 1-cent increase in motor fuel taxes on gas and diesel. We said stop wasting it on Hollywood film subsidies, put it into fixing the roads. And so we will work with you on that. We've got an uphill battle. I'm as concerned as you are that the total state budget is now well over $50 billion. That's a lot.
And getting bigger every year.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tammy Carlone. I would like to know your opinion on prenatal to workforce human capital development that includes Common Core, data collection, and tracking children to jobs.
At the Michigan Chamber, we did not and do not support Common Core. We did support a requirement for more math, more science, and foreign languages as part of the state curriculum. But Tammy, thank you for asking the question, because there's a lot of confusion there. The Michigan Chamber does not, we have not, we do not support Common Core.
I very much appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about PAC earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk for just a quick sec about the board and how the PAC is funded from within the chamber? Is that a separate thing? Is that part of being part of the chamber?
Great question about the Michigan Chamber's Political Action Committee. We're so strongly committed to helping to elect people who believe in free enterprise and limited government. We actually have 4 PACs. We have a small federal PAC, and we sometimes work with the U.S. Chamber on federal election campaigns. But again, 90% of our focus is on state-level elections. And so we have Chamber PAC 1, where the business people we represent make a personal contribution, not corporate dollars, but they literally take money out of their purse or their wallet and contribute it to Chamber PAC 1. That money is given to individual candidates to assist them with their election. We have Chamber PAC 2, where we can use corporate dollars. Chamber PAC 2 is our ongoing ballot question committee. We use Chamber PAC 2 to defeat the union proposal to amend the Constitution in 2012 to prohibit the legislature from taking up right to work. Then we have Chamber PAC 3, where we can use corporate dollars for express advocacy. Vote for Representative Green, support Senator Brown. I just made up those names, those are not real examples. And so we have 3 PACs, and we work very hard to raise PAC funds. Again, our 2-part test. Is there a clear difference between the candidates, and can we make a difference? If we choose to be involved in a race, we usually jump in with both feet, and we'll make a significant contribution. In the 2 seats I mentioned, we think it is so important to make sure that the candidates that we support win, that we've contributed $5,000 in each of those races. And so those are meaningful contributions. We play to win, and we try to help the candidates that we believe are best. And again, especially since I've been president, we work very hard to only emphasize the positive about the candidates we support. It's important to remember primaries are family squabbles. And after the primary, the family has to come together. And so that's our approach there. All of the information that you might want as private citizens about state-level political action committees is available to you on the state of Michigan's website. Every dollar that we receive or spend on Chamber PAC 1 and Chamber PAC 2 and Chamber PAC 3 are reported on a regular basis to the Secretary of State. So there's a lot of openness and accountability and transparency there. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Arlene Allen. I'm State Director for Women Defending America, which is part of the national group Stand Up America. My question is, you just mentioned that the Chamber supports people's private property rights. Is that correct? Did I hear that correctly? Then what is your position on Agenda 21, which is better known as Sustainable Development, which has been adopted in every single county in the state of Michigan? And many of the people up north are feeling the effects of the rezoning. And by the way, if you don't understand it, when they accept sustainable development, which Snyder is promoting in our state legislature, a lot of them, and the county commissioners clear across the state, you give it for your land, water, air, and mineral rights. And this is happening all over the state of Michigan. In fact, people are having bike paths put through their front lawns in Petoskey. So what is the chamber going to do about that?
Over the years at the Michigan Chamber, we've worked through the legislative process, the regulatory process, and the legal process to protect private property rights. We have fought regulations that would be governmental taking without compensation.
Will you get involved in this and stop the sustainable development in this state? Will the chamber get involved in stopping sustainable development, which is a takeover of land, water, air, and property rights? It's going on in Oakland Township. It's going up in the northern part. People are being taxed off their farms. It is a very bad thing. It was adopted back in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, and George Herbert Walker Bush accepted it for the United States, and it's been passed down. I want the chamber, if you're conservative, then you're going to make this an issue and take this out of the state of Michigan. We want Agenda 21, sustainable development gone.
You're more familiar with Agenda 21 than I am. I will leave you my business card. I need to learn more about that before I can.
But this should be an issue the chamber, if you're conservative, will take up, and we need to remove this from our state.
I'd be glad to learn more.
I'm Mary Ann from Oakland County, and my question is you have the Michigan Chamber, and I know you get money from different directions. Is any of that money being used to be going to the U.S. Chamber?
The question was about the funding we receive. Setting aside political action and ballot proposals, we're a $6.5, $7.5 million a year organization. We have about 6,800 members. The largest source of revenue for the Michigan Chamber, we accept no government funding, are dues, voluntary dues that are paid to us by business people. The vast majority of our members are small businesses and medium-sized companies. We are a voluntary member of the U.S. Chamber. We pay a couple of $1,000s a year to the U.S. Chamber to be a member of that
For
organization.
membership only?
For membership only, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You said you got involved more than 4 decades ago when there was a very small Republican and shrinking Republican majority in both bodies. Who was governor then?
Bill Milligan.
A putative Republican. Speaking today's issue of this conference, you would use the term, well, power plant closings. Is the chamber on the verge of some power plant closings? Is the chamber taking any positions on those?
We are involved in the debate over energy policy. We are opposing President Obama's Clean Power Plant program. We support Attorney General Schuette's litigation and joining other states to defeat that. We think it is wrong for energy policy to be decided by non-elected bureaucrats at the EPA. We think our state's energy policy should be decided by our governor and members of the State House and the Michigan Senate. We fought to retain retail open access. Legislation was moving to completely eliminate customer competition and choice. The Michigan Chamber, we fought to retain that. One of our goals in this next energy debate is to support sustaining the current level of customer choice and competition. Another important goal for us is to continue to require, to mandate cost of service rates so that homeowners don't subsidize business and that business don't subsidize homeowners. So those are our 2 big goals.
Okay. Any involvement in the requirement, moving requirement for greater usage of sustainable or subsidized energy at the cost of non-subsidized energy?
We opposed Governor Granholm's mandate for a renewable portfolio standard. In 2012, we spent millions to defeat amending the state constitution to mandate that. We support alternative and renewable energy. We believe that should be driven in the marketplace and that customers can decide it should be driven by technology, not government mandates.
One last question. Again, thank you for coming and explaining to us how we can work with you. You very carefully use the word job providers, which was coined some time ago and used as a response to attacks on corporations and businesses by the left. Any thoughts to rehabilitating the terms corporation, businessman, and business?
We work on that a lot. One of the things that I think is very sad about our country and our state, there are a lot of young people today that could not tell you the difference between capitalism and socialism. We have some elected officials who seem a little unclear about that. And so we are working on some programs and projects to help young people become entrepreneurs and understand the value. We're going to talk more, I think, in a traditional sense about employees and employers, that you can't sink half a boat, that we are all in this together. I agree there are some challenges with the language there. What we are going to see as conservatives in the 2016 election is a national campaign and then a state campaign to demonize free enterprise, to attack every business owner, large or small, as being a greedy, selfish, multimillionaire. You and I know that's not true. I work for many wonderful second and third generation family-owned and operated businesses who live here. So I think we're going to talk more about small business. Corporate has almost become a pejorative. When conservatives and liberals start both using the same language about corporate welfare, that should be a warning signal to us about fuzzy words and sloppy rhetoric. So thank you. Your point is very well taken.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.